Miller, General Manager of Policy for AgForce Queensland.
Daniel Phipps, the AgForce Project's Coal seam gas and mining project leader.
So Daniel and I have just come back from the Parliamentary Committee hearing into the Land Access Ombudsman Bill. So this bill seeks to establish an Ombudsman service, which is an independent, low-cost alternative to Land Court and is intended to resolve disputes largely concerning land access issues, but also including some consideration of make good impacts on water resources. So generally AgForce are supportive of having an Ombudsman there. We do think it will provide some clear benefits in relation to getting disputes addressed, investigated and resolved. So trying to improve the conversation, I guess the levels of trust between landholders and the resource sector, where there are issues around how they're operating on property and the sorts of impacts that they're having. But we did make a number of amendment suggestions.
We certainly do believe that the Land Access Ombudsman will be able to provide value to landholders, to be able to help them through the disputes with resource companies in relation to land access agreements and make good agreements. And we're hopeful this will provide a certainty for landholders to be able to resolve these disputes, and look forward to working with government to implement these changes.
So a key issue that we had was actually ensuring the Ombudsman could not only deal with disputes arising from existing conduct and compensation agreements and make good agreements, but also to get involved with the negotiations or deal with disputes around the negotiations of agreements as well. So those that haven't yet been secured, and Daniel had some good information out of the landholder survey in regard to that.
Certainly what we found from the survey was that there continues to be a low level of satisfaction with landholder CCAs and concern in relation to make good agreements. So we're hopeful that the implementation of the Land Access Ombudsman will allow landholders to increase their satisfaction with their CCAs by being able to effectively resolve disputes regarding land access or make good agreements, and we look forward to implementing it.
And another issue that we raised was in relation to enabling the Ombudsman to hear disputes where they'd previously been referred to a departmental dispute resolution process. I think experience has shown that not all those processes have been effective, and not every landholder engages with those. So there are still levels of distrust from landholders towards government and towards companies. So we think an independent Ombudsman provides a real opportunity there to get to the nub of issues, so that the Ombudsman does have the capacity to require information to be provided, so trying to get to full disclosure by companies around their activities, but also not wanting to rule out disputes that have been referred to the departmental processes, to make sure that if people aren't satisfied with those government investigations, that there is another avenue. And another issue that we raised with the current coverage of the bill was the fact that it was only available to those that were in had an agreement, a conduct and compensation agreement, and one of the issues that has been raised with us was about making sure that neighbours also had access to that process where they may not be subject to a CCA.
Certainly what the experience that we've developed through the project over the last 6 years and with AgForce is that landholders that may be neighbouring development, either from a coal mine or from a coal seam gas project, may be experiencing some indirect or direct impacts, and we believe that in instances where these landholders don't have an access agreement with that resource company, that it's important that they be able to access the independent support provided by the Ombudsman to be able to resolve these disputes effectively.
So the Ombudsman also has a requirement to produce an annual report, and we thought there was significant value to be added by expanding that reporting to include issues related to the legislative framework and policies concerning land access and the make good provisions, so that where we're seeing disputes arising in association with parts of that legislative framework, that we can get government to go back on the basis of recommendation from the Ombudsman and in consultation with stakeholders to try and get those addressed going forward, so that we don't have these issues continuing to come up over time. So all in all, we were supportive of the Ombudsman concept. We think it's got a lot of benefits, a lot going for it. There are some tweaks that we'd like to see happen, but like all things, politics is the art of compromise, so we just hope that at the end of the process we get as much of those additional amendments in as we can.